Lazarus match. This is the loser's match. Whoever loses this match will be eliminated from the ASL Season 4 Prime League. But as things are already starting to heat up, this guy is going to make it steam. It is the one and only Blue Terran Liquid Taeja.
And his opponent, currently the recipient of said cheese here, happening right now in the middle of the map, spawning in the top right-hand corner, representing Flipside Tactics. It is the red Zerg player, JonSnow. And he's in a bit of a pickle. He's gone for a hatch first here. He doesn't have this scouted. The racks are put into not super close location, so when he wants to go ahead and flip them back, it's not going to be as far as it used to be. And of course, the Overlord not going to see it as the first one's finished. Orbital command on the way, as well as the first Marine. Going to be interesting to see what the response from JonSnow is. He's got gas. I think he went gas before pool, so the absolute worst thing that he could have done.
This is the worst way to open up as a Zerg player when you are dealing with the 2 racks, but you know, it's not too bad sometimes. But I know that Taeja's pretty damn good at executing this when he wants to do it, and it looks like he is. He's actually done a different build every single game, and even in this series, he's changing it up. I don't even know if that is the Overlord. I think I might have seen it.
It wasn't scouted. It didn't see it. Pulls...
He knows about something.
He knows something's going down. Yeah, okay, he knows. He saw the SCV and the Marines come up because he's pulling a bunch of drones here.
And this is such a scary moment here.
Oh, man.
It wasn't at all. But you know what? Speed. Is there enough? Not even enough mine to get speed. Not even enough mine in order to go ahead and get that Baneling Nest either for a counterattack. So there's not going to be any kind of Baneling counterattack if this 2 racks is able to actually go down. And it's, 1 bunker's already there. That's like the safety bunker, not in range.
God, this is so rough to see from JonSnow. And you know, you've got a huge game against a great opponent, and you're like, okay, I'm going to get my macro and my injections. Ling's coming out a little bit, too, getting stutter-stepped here from these Marines. You're not going to get those. Those are Taeja Marines. They're a different breed of Marines. And you know what? He's getting a spine crawler down. But like I said, you know, this bunker's going to finish up, and this is going to be so hard.
Yep. I mean, there's no speed on the way here. Usually when you're able to do this, you're at least able to get your queens out. The spine crawler goes on a bit earlier. But JonSnow getting caught so early here, and Taeja may not even let that spine crawler go down. There are already 2 bunkers up here, Tyrannus.
Yeah, there's 2 bunkers and 7 Marines, and the bunker isn't going to complete, but he also is not going to have any problems just continuously rallying out Marines that are going to be able to make this almost almost invincible. I think he did end up getting the Queen, and Spine Crawler is not even going to be able to get into a position to deal with these because he's going to be able to stutter step his way out and poke it down as much as he wants. The Lings are going to finally try and surround the bunker, but the hatchery is going to die before any of this is going to be able to happen. So it's going to be a tough uphill battle from JonSnow for the rest of this match as back home Liquid Taeja starts up on his 2nd command center.
Already a command center, and even the bunker is alive right now. 1 more pop and it will go down, but that spine crawler is going to go down too. And there's really nothing here to look forward to for JonSnow. He's just holding on. He's surviving, but I don't even know if that is going to be enough. Pulling the drones for a last-ditch effort. This may actually be okay, but I mean, the fact that behind this is going to be a macro setup for Taeja, it's very, very rough. But I think that's the best that he could have done there here, JonSnow.
Yeah, JonSnow has to attack now, and unfortunately there's still 2 Marines in a bunker here that are just going to kill just enough Lings to make any sort of counterattack, which would be out of walled-off Terran anyway, almost impossible. Ling speed is halfway from completing, and we have a Queen on the way, but I think more importantly, the fact that the Terran player Taeja is just going to be so confident that he's not even getting a factory back home. He's starting a 2nd commencer. Lets you know just how bad of a position JonSnow's in. And he's getting his Lings in a concave here because he expects for their aggression. Yeah, 3rd one. And like I said, he's getting his Lings in a concave up there, and now he's kind of moving around a little bit. He expects more pressure, and Taeja is perfectly happy to just go back home and get his macro up and running.
Yeah, he's done with any of that pressure. And another thing to note, like I think it was yesterday where we saw even the command center by Supernova being used to wall off at the natural location. I mean, if JonSnow was mining gas, and I don't know if Taeja confirmed anything about a potential Baneling bust here, I feel like if he was able to get out of there, he would have been able to do a little bit of damage here. A triple supply depot wall would have supply blocked Taeja, and he doesn't even have a bunker completed yet. So I think Taeja was playing a little bit with fire here. If JonSnow had decided to go for the other style of dealing with this.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think JonSnow, I mean, when you get 2 racks like that and you lose your hatchery, there's a standard response, and I don't think JonSnow really hit the standard response as well as he could have, because the Baneling bust, make a ton of lings. All right, well, we're going to go home and we're going to try and break down our opponent's door and see what damage we can get done, and they weren't even able to do that. So finally, they're going to be able to just cycle out these Marines here. The lings could get surrounded the bunker. They're going to take that out, but it got salvaged by Taeja. So
both of them,
as good a 2-Rax as you can see
that
in
is
the game today. So
yep. Like, I mean, I don't know where JonSnow is going to go from here. He's only on 20 drones, or 22 now, but the hatchery of his is just not going down, and Taeja is going into a triple command center. So, I mean, what I could see JonSnow doing is some kind of bust, but he isn't going to go into triple hatchery himself. So, if he can get some good damage done with these lings, hey, there you go. There's a start, and with the Hellions coming out, these lings are going to be a little bit harder to get some value out of. But there you go. Gets another one of those SCVs. He gets out with even one ling.
JonSnow is going to go ahead and get up to 3 hatcheries after the pressure and seeing where what he's dealing with. I mean, what else can you do? You're playing from behind. You got to make some sort of sacrifice and some sort of risk to get back into the game. JonSnow is in a tough position right now. I mean, he's got a, like you said, it's a pretty low amount of drones. But Taeja's going to surely know what's coming, because as soon, Taeja's not going to wait around to get his economy up before he starts pushing. He's gonna push. He's gonna supplement his. He's gonna push and supplement his push with his economy. There's one of 2 ways of doing it. Use your economy to get your army, and then go and use your army to defend your economy, or supplement your push and your harass with your economy, so that what's the final point? Do I want to get a big economy and make sure it's secure, or do I want the whole point is getting an army? And Taeja's obviously got 6 Hellions out here dancing in front of these queens now.
He's got 4 Hellions being made at a time, and he has an armory completed too. This push, how the hell are you gonna be able to deal with this if you are JonSnow? There's no Baneling nest, there's no Spine Crawler, but there are 3 queens. I mean, that's all he has going for him here. This is a lot of Hellbats, man.
Yeah, one just popped out, but Hellbats do really well against queens. This is GG. Unfortunately for JonSnow, he just didn't have a good read on the game. Good game, well played, called. Liquid Taeja taking game 1 on Overgrowth. Pretty standard 2-Rax fashion. I say standard 2-Rax because it was just really, really well done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's Expedition Lost Ladder Edition, of course, Ascended StarCraft Prime League for you. My name is Tyrannus, joined, of course, by Tempo. We'll get right into these player introductions, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. Currently up 1-0, courtesy of a perfectly executed Proxy 2-Rax on Overgrowth. It is representing Team Liquid, the Red Terran player, Taeja.
And his opponent spawning opposite. On the northeastern side of the map, representing Flipside Tactics, it is JonSnow.
Yeah, and he's going to have to literally kill a giant here. Liquid Taeja, of course. Something tells me he's a bit of a favorite for this match. But one thing I want to say is JonSnow is not feeling very scared right now, and he's going for the exact same build that he went for last game, which of course is a hatch first, then gas, then spawning pool. Which is, if you get Proxy Rax, right? Yeah, exactly. If you get Proxy Rax, it's the worst build you can do, and right now he's saying he's not going to do it twice. I don't think, at least. But we do have a Reaper on the way, and of course, Taeja checking in with us SCV just to make sure that the second hatchery has been taken.
Yeah, this is a little bit different. I always wonder how players approach. It really boggles my mind sometimes, because we were always talking about builds per map and whatnot, but when Taeja played against Jaedong, we're talking about, oh yeah, why would you ever open Reaper on this map? Right now he's playing it so safe right now by going for the Reaper, even though it's not really the best map for it, but he's just saying, yo, what are you gonna try to do here? I'm already up a map, and what are you gonna do? And I'm going to find out exactly what that is by getting that Reaper out. And also, what was it in the ZVZ? He opened a little bit differently. Jaedong opened Saxry opened up a bit differently than he did against JonSnow.
It's almost like they just rely on their mechanics and their playing as opposed to build orders. It's
yeah.
But I mean,
depending on who they play.
We talk about the style of players and things like that, and of course we saw Parting unfortunately get kicked out last night. But as these two Lings are actually going to be able to come in here and stop the natural a little bit from being made, and actually get a kill of the SCV. So that's a pretty good pickup from JonSnow, a feather in your cap earlier on. But as I was saying, talking about player style and how players like to do things, of course, Parting goes like super gateway heavy, and then he just relies on his ability to micro and individual engagements and wins. Of course, he loves his sentries. He loves making the really, really important plays. And I think Taeja is one of those players who can be flexible. He can do a lot of different things in a lot of different areas, and he's just got a really good natural sense of the game. So it's just one of those things where it's like whether he's microing Hellions, Hellbats, or Marines, you're gonna have, it's pretty tough to do no matter what.
Exactly, and a lot of players even master one way of playing, and that is what they're known for, and it can also be their weakness as well. But when it comes to just straight up solid play, but having a wide variety of plays and mastering them all, that makes you a very scary player, and that's exactly how Taeja's playing it right now. Maybe even thinking that, hey, JonSnow could have been watching those games and that I played against Jaedong, so if I try to do the same kind of thing, he might be able to kind of counter it, or without even really... Well, blind countering or just reading it into it as he sees it if he scouts. So I think doing a little bit different, it's just so scary. Like, you don't even know what to expect.
Yeah, and I think one thing, too, to be sure, is that I think, and this is just my personal opinion on matters, so don't take me for an expert, but I would say that Terran is a little less reliant on build orders when you play Standard, and as opposed to Protoss and Zerg. And I think Protoss is probably the most reliant on what units they have, because, if you can't counter DTs, you're dead in the water. But Terran is it's the race that it's about the micro, and it's about the multitasking and the decision making you make within the engagement. And so it's perfectly suited for a player like Taeja. He's coming in here, 6 Marines, 4 Hellions, gonna load up, and he's been seen by JonSnow dropping in, and he's gonna go ahead and get these Hellions, of course, to support as well.
Well, JonSnow going for that 2-base Spire. You had noticed it because he hadn't put down any of the... Oh, obviously because he put down the Spire right now. So he was going for a similar opener that we had seen earlier today with the 2-base style. But you know what? He's getting a little bit trapped in here. Is he attacking with everything, though? Queens, are they focusing down the medevacs, or are they focusing down the Marines? It looks like the Marines are going to be focused. Medevac is still alive, though, and it is going to get away with at least a few of those units here. So I don't even know if Taeja was able to scout that. Oh, he saw this something. What did he see making? That must have been the spawn crawler.
Yeah,
JonSnow holds that really well.
Holding it really well, and we are seeing a 3rd CC come out of Liquid Taeja. So, if we have and also the Viking was made instead of a medevac. So even though it doesn't seem like such a huge deal, as opposed to 2 medevacs, which give you that much healing power, especially in an engagement, we do see the 3rd hatch that might be shut down from Taeja having to get canceled here. But 2-base Muta can do a lot of damage if it's unsuspecting.
Yeah, and looks like Taeja, he already has the engineering base on the way, but they look like there will be for the upgrades. But the fact that 3rd base is so late, you usually will only expect the Roach Warren or a 2-base Muta. And if you don't see anything at the front, which I don't know if Taeja actually checked it really, but you can almost assume that it is going to be 2-base Muta. And you know what? That's another way to get that perfect information. He's going to get a scout off right in the main, sees exactly what it is, and now he's perfectly fine. He's getting that 3rd base already in orbital command. And he's starting his upgrades very shortly as well. So JonSnow is going to be able to get some control, but won't be able to get much done with the mutas.
Perfect macro come out of Taeja, as we know, getting his production in. He favors going to 3 CCs quicker than getting his 5 racks up, and now he's just going to go ahead and add on the 2 racks, as we've got 7 mutas on the way out into the map here. Of course, 7 mutas can get some damage done. They're not going to get any sort of game-ending damage, but what they can do is cause the Terran opponent to maybe rethink just pushing out and this and that, keeping the army back home. There is a Viking here, but that won't do very well. That's a lot of Marines. He doesn't want to lose, stay over that army for too long. Not 1 Muta going down just yet, as they start to go to work on those ice rocks, and so that they can open up to the 3rd, of course. Yeah.
He'll know where Taeja wants to take that 3rd, and he's probably thinking like, that sucks, because he has an Overlord in position ready to block the 3rd of Taeja on that other side. So Taeja getting this 3rd up is going to be pretty scary for JonSnow. He is starting to take his 3rd. The gas is already being taken, and he's starting to drone up as best as he can, but I don't even know if he's going to continue to just yet. He's making some lings.
Yeah, there's a real issue right now, I think, with the upgrade disparity, and we have +1 flying attacks and banding speed coming in. So, when you have to get your individual unit upgrades, things like combat shields, as these mutas poke in and try and disrupt the natural mineral line, you get combat shields, stem, that, this and that. But Taeja is quite ahead on his upgrades, or he just started +2.
Yeah.
No, +1. Okay, never mind. Okay,
I believe,
so his reserve opponent is
JonSnow is halfway done with his 1-1.
Yeah.
Taeja just now starting it, but here he comes out. Doesn't even care about the upgrades, actually. Banelings are just starting to be made. Speed is not done yet, and Taeja hitting with the kind of timing that JonSnow may not have been expecting at all, because he doesn't have the units on the ground to deal with it.
Yeah, there's nothing here. All these drones are going to die. The hatchery will go down. The mutas can't attack into this. 2-3 medevacs supporting that many stemmed Marines. This is looking really, really rough for JonSnow. 121 supply. Taeja's supply blocked, but it doesn't even make anything because, of course, he's gone ahead and stopped the third hatchery. And I think this is GG. No matter what, Taeja's not going to let this lead slip unless he does something really stupid.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. We've seen him get hit by a few burrowed Banes, but burrowed Banes are not even a factor in this matchup, it doesn't seem like. Speed is already finished for these Banelings, and Taeja's getting a really nice position here. He knows just by killing that third that he is already ahead, only because he is mining from his third base. Even though the upgrades are a little bit behind for him, it's just the fact that he's here. The presence, forcing JonSnow to make all these units instead of droning up his third, or even his fourth, if you want to call it that, because it did get taken out.
Yeah, good split. The Banelings getting hit by the Widow Mines, so now there's not really much for JonSnow to defend with. He's, there's more bile coming across for Taeja. The Banelings are going to come on creep. The splits are decent. The Marines are going to stay alive for the most part. Actually, a couple of good nations able to clean up the majority of that bio force. So JonSnow holding on for now, able to make sure that his third is at least safe, the one that he remade after losing the other one. But he doesn't even have the rocks down. He doesn't have a way to get drones there quickly. So Taeja scans, he sees it. He's got more bio, and if you look at the red minimap, it looks red because that's how many Taeja units are coming across.
And they're going to be pushing on over there, and well, this is better of a position to defend for JonSnow. Oh, but the Drox are going to go down. I don't know who actually did that, but Baneling's going off of creep now. The 1-1 has completed here for Taeja. That last battle, Taeja did not have the 1-1, and that might have been the advantage that allowed JonSnow to take that battle, but now they are even on upgrades, and the reinforcements can even get there. GG will be called, and Taeja
Taeja pretty handedly.
2-0.